Okay, Megan. It is Tuesday, March 16th, and noticed a little trend here. You've decided to be more aggressive in your punditry. I'm sorry, your analysis. So you've toned down the wacky hairdos and the wacky makeup. You're looking less like a clown. I assume because you're trying to, um, you know, legitimize your opinion a little more. So, okay, today's topic was the vaccination rollout and the monumental percentage of Republicans who are skeptical to get the vaccine, don't want to get the vaccine, don't plan to get the vaccine. Whoopi's number was, I think, 41% of Republicans. You came up with a statistic that was between 32 and 41, and then said you didn't want to be, controversial, but you think it might be more than that. Well, that's not controversial, nor is it surprising. When we talk about, you talk about Republicans think that Democrats think that Republicans are stupid. Okay, so Whoopi's point was that, and I, that they need a better way to get the messaging out to Republicans. President Biden was saying he wants local doctors and church leaders and people who aren't politicians but know their own communities to start to advocate for vaccination. You come on to say you're going to get it as soon as you can, you'll take it on air, blah, blah, blah. And then you say you really want to know why Republicans aren't going to get it, and you show a clip of Kamala Harris in September of last year, before we had any vaccinations available. If there was one available before the election, would she get it? And Kamala said she doesn't trust Donald Trump. She would want to look at the efficacy, understand the source, and hear from actual medical professionals before she would decide on that, which is a pragmatic answer. Biden gave a very similar answer to the same question at around the same time frame. And you say that there was bad messaging on both sides, which is a complete false argument and incredibly disingenuous. By the way, I believe your husband runs a website where they were advocating for coronavirus parties and pushing herd immunity. So, look inside the house for the problem a little bit before you start attacking the vice president, and at that point, the vice presidential nominee. So when I guess you have amnesia, but we were blatantly lied to by the president of the United States about this entire pandemic. Every day, he hid it from officials and from the public. He lied. Remember when he thought it was a good idea for us to inject ourselves with bleach and disinfectant? Why would anyone trust anyone with a sane, logical brain trust what the man had to say? You don't trust Dr. Fauci. Okay, fine. There was a lot of missteps, and Dr. Birx is now on a reputation tour to try to regain her reputation. My words are failing me. They were both under an incredible amount of pressure from the Trump administration about what they could and could not say. Fauci would say something, he'd have to walk it back because Trump didn't want the facts to be aired. He didn't want them broadcast. Remember when he kept saying, we should stop testing. If we stop testing, we won't have any cases. That's not how you get rid of a virus. He downplayed this pandemic. He created all of the mistrust. And all of that was then picked up by your conservative media, your conservative representatives and senators, and touted his line. This is his fault. They created the mistrust. The Republican Party led by Donald Trump. That's your party. So Birx and Fauci were trying to say what they could, but not get in too much trouble from Trump and get fired because they thought that the work that they were doing was helping. And if they got fired, there wouldn't be anybody there, to actually guide the ship, and everything would have gone into further disrepair and chaos. And Trump tried to get vaccines approved early. It's on television. He said it. So there's not a lot of trust in that. No, so there was nothing about, his little minions, all those little MAGA people, will do what he says. If he actually went on TV and said, this is safe, go get it, it would help. But you going on TV and disingenuously blaming Kamala Harris for accurately answering a question in September of 2020, saying, if Donald Trump wants to put a vaccine in my arm, I'm going to have some questions about it. And then you say, as a Republican, down to your, the bones and the fabric of your being, Republicans are skeptical people. But you're criticizing Kamala Harris for being skeptical. So I don't see, within that one segment, you negated your own argument, which was a false argument to begin with. And skepticism is one thing, but deciding and having an opinion based on a separate set of ideas that are not fact isn't skepticism, it's just stupidity. So, you complain about how Republicans get treated. Stop acting like an idiot. Stop doing all this disingenuous bullshit. And we wouldn't call you a disingenuous bullshit liar, faker. I might be getting bored with this because you are just an inaccurate talking point. And you're part of the problem, and your husband's website. So maybe I should watch Tucker Carlson at night so I know what you're going to say the next day. I don't know. But your one-note inability to actually have analysis and just try to blame Democrats is not a compelling story, nor is it interesting, or in any way analytical.